Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're about to take a totally fascinating journey. We're going from that super satisfying mechanical yank of traditional steel cables all the way to the modern era of those sleek little electronic buttons sitting on your center console. Today, we're demystifying a system that literally secures thousands of pounds of metal every single day. I'm talking, of course, about the parking brake. Now, you might be wondering, what actually happens when you pull that lever? It's a great question, isn't it? We use this vital safety tool all the time. Whether we're parking on a crazy steep hill or just locking the car down in our own driveway, it's always there. Yet almost no one actually sees the hidden, frankly ingenious mechanics working right under the floorboards. Well, today, we're going to make the invisible visible. All right, so here is our roadmap for the explainer. We'll kick things off with Section 1, the mechanics of stopping, then move into Section 2, inside the drum brake. After that, we'll explore Section 3, the electronic brake revolution, before wrapping up with some really practical advice in Section 4, mastering proper handbrake use, and Section 5, maintenance and troubleshooting. We'll be covering both the brilliant engineering and the everyday driving tips you absolutely need to know. Okay, let's jump right into Section 1, the mechanics of stopping. From the lever to the wheels, let's reveal that hidden chain of events linking your driver's seat directly to the rear axle. Okay, let's dive into this. When you pull up on that mechanical lever, you're kicking off a highly reliable physical chain reaction. First, the cable tension increases, passing through an intermediate lever that actually multiplies the force of your pull, like a built-in strength boost. Then it hits a really crucial component called the equalizer. This little guy is amazing because it splits that mechanical force perfectly evenly between your left and right rear brakes. Finally, those rear wheel brakes engage, securely holding your heavy vehicle in place. It's entirely mechanical, meaning it completely bypasses your car's primary hydraulic system. But before we get totally focused on wheel brakes, I've got to highlight a really unique alternative, the transmission brake. Instead of acting at the wheels, this is an inboard drum brake mounted directly to the drive shaft. Land Rover actually used this setup for over 50 years, and get this, it was even used in World War II M19 tank transporters. Because it locks the drivetrain itself, it can effectively brake all four wheels on a 4x4. But a quick word of warning, it is strictly designed as a static parking brake. Pulling that thing while you're moving? Yeah, that's a surefire way to absolutely wreck your driveline. Moving right along to Section 2, inside the drum brake. We are going to look at the historical evolution of this tech and the fascinating physics of friction that make it all work. Tracing this tech back over a century reveals a pretty wild evolution. Way back in 1900, Maybach introduced the very first drum brake. Fast forward to the 1950s, and we see the arrival of self-adjusting drum brakes, which was huge because it meant mechanics didn't have to constantly crawl under there to tweak them as they wore down. Then in 1986, the Jeep CJ5 became the very last U.S. automobile to finally phase out front drum brakes, making way for standard front discs. And finally, jumping to 2001, the Lancia Thesis debuted the very first electronic parking brake. So what exactly is going on inside that drum? It's like a giant, heavy-duty puzzle. The backing plate, sometimes called a torque plate, provides this rock-solid base to absorb all that braking force. Then you have the brake drum itself. Think of it as a heavy, heat-conductive cast iron bowl that spins right along with your wheel. Inside that bowl are the brake shoes, which are lined with specialized friction material. When you brake, a wheel cylinder uses hydraulic pistons, or for your parking brake, a mechanical lever, to push those shoes radially outward, pressing them hard against the inside of that iron bowl to stop the rotation entirely. And this brilliantly illustrates a really unique quirk of physics. Drum brakes are what engineers call self-energizing. Because of the way they're built, the sheer rotation of the drum actually drags the brake shoes deeper and deeper into the friction surface. The brake literally uses the car's own forward or backward momentum against it. It bites harder all on its own, increasing your stopping power without you having to pull the lever even a fraction of an inch tighter. How cool is that? Let's shift gears into Section 3, the electronic brake revolution. We're going to explore exactly why that satisfying ratcheting mechanical lever is disappearing so fast from modern cars. There are two distinct ways manufacturers are pulling this off. First, you have the cable pull system. This basically just takes a bidirectional electric motor, usually hidden under the car or back in the boot, and uses it to mechanically yank those traditional cables for you. It's kind of a hybrid. But the caliper-integrated system? Now that is a true revolution. No cables whatsoever. Instead, a tiny little electric motor sits right inside each rear brake caliper. It uses a super clever gear reduction system to generate massive torque, forcing the brake piston out to grip the rotor. Because these electronic systems, or EPBs, are controlled by the car's central computer, they actually act like a digital safety algorithm. A lot of modern cars will automatically release the brake for you the second you step on the gas, but only if a highly specific checklist is met. Your door absolutely must be closed, your seatbelt must be clicked in, the engine has to be running, and you must be in gear. If not, no way. It completely prevents the vehicle from moving if the driver isn't properly strapped in and ready. Now, you might be thinking, why go through all this electronic hassle? Well, here is one huge reason: 6 kilograms. By totally scrapping the heavy steel cables, the clunky mechanical hand lever, and all that associated hardware in favor of caliper-integrated EPBs, some manufacturers claim they save up to 6 kilograms of vehicle weight. That's over 13 pounds. In modern automotive engineering, shaving off that much weight is a massive win for both fuel efficiency and streamlining the manufacturing process. Welcome to Section 4, Mastering Proper Handbrake Use. Let's step away from the engineering bench for a minute and talk about your everyday driving habits to keep your vehicle safe. All right, time to bust some myths and lock down some best practices. First off, for the automatic drivers out there, do not, I repeat, do not rely solely on the park gear. Always use your handbrake. Second, if you're parking uphill, turn your front wheels away from the curb. If you're facing downhill, turn them toward it. It uses the curb as a physical backup. Third, don't forcefully yank that mechanical lever to the roof. A steady, moderate pull is all you need, otherwise you risk permanently stretching the cables. And lastly, always make absolutely sure the brake is fully released so you aren't driving around with dragging brakes. So, the absolutely crucial takeaway here is this: using your handbrake does 2 massive favors for your car's lifespan. First, it takes all that heavy resting pressure off your automatic transmission's parking pole. And guys, that pawl is literally just a tiny metal pin. You don't want a heavy car resting entirely on that. Plus, regular use ensures your independent mechanical braking system stays exercised and functional, ready to step in as a vital backup if your primary hydraulic brakes ever decide to fail. And that brings us to our final stop, Section 5, Maintenance and Troubleshooting. Let's look at how to spot faults early and keep this system rock solid through the winter months. Traditional cable handbrakes will absolutely warn you physically when they are starting to fail. You just have to listen to what the car is telling you. If your lever suddenly feels unusually stiff, weirdly loose, or just wobbly, you've likely got a stretched or misaligned cable. If your vehicle rolls slightly on a hill, it's failing to fully engage. On the flip side, if your car feels super sluggish, or you step out and your rear wheels are literally hot to the touch, the cable is stuck and the brake is dragging. And in the absolute worst-case scenario, a severely overstretched or snapped cable can cause the lever to lock up entirely in one position. Now, what's really interesting about this is it gives us a highly specific, satisfying target for the DIYers tuning in: 5 to 7. When you're properly adjusting the handbrake cable on a traditional vehicle with rear drum brakes, take a classic Honda, for example, your golden target is 5 to 7 clicks. You pull the lever up, count the clicks, and check if the rear wheels lock up. If it takes 10 clicks, your cable's way too loose. If it locks up tight at just 2 clicks, it's too tight. Hitting that 5 to 7 range is a highly satisfying, tangible way to know your brakes are perfect. Now, for anyone living in colder climates, especially if you're driving a European vehicle with a sensitive rear drum and hat parking system, winter freezing is a very real threat. Moisture creeps into those cables and freezes them solid. To prevent this headache, park in a garage or covered area if you can. If temperatures dip below 32 degrees Fahrenheit, consider just leaving the car in park without engaging the handbrake, provided you're on totally flat ground. And it's a great idea to have your mechanic hit those cables with silicone or graphite lubricants to block out that freezing moisture for good. But maintaining a modern electronic parking brake, yeah, that is a whole different ballgame. You can't just unbolt things in your driveway anymore. Servicing an EPB today actually requires a digital scan tool to communicate directly with the car's computer, telling it to retract the calipers into a specific service mode. Even wilder, on some vehicles like certain Volkswagens or Audis, you literally have to measure your brand new brake pads with calipers and program that exact millimeter thickness into the computer's algorithm, so it knows exactly how far to push the piston. It's crazy. Which leaves us with one final fascinating thought to ponder. As automotive engineering keeps evolving, shedding weight, and relying more on complex algorithms, we definitely gain some incredible convenience and safety features. But I have to ask, will you ever trust a little digital button on your dashboard quite as much as you trust the satisfying mechanical pull and sheer physical resistance of a traditional handbrake lever? Think about that the next time you put your car in park. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and as always, keep learning.